Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, and welcome to a Saturday early evening episode of Ted's Booze Cellar with me, your most gracious host, Ted. We're going to be taking a look today at another one of the BuzzBallz cocktails. This time we're going to be taking a look at the much anticipated BuzzBallz cocktails Choc Teas. Now, this is the one that a lot of my mates who spoke highly of BuzzBallz cocktails really ranted and raved about. I did mention that in the previous episode, and I'm interested to see what this is like, because as far as I can tell, out of the ones that I've tried so far, this is the only one that doesn't have tequila in it. It says here that it is a tasty chocolate cocktail made with vodka, cream, and natural flavours. So I'm willing to wager that this might be the one that I end up enjoying the most so far, because chocolate is a fairly easy cocktail to mix into a milk-based cocktail like this one, and I feel like it's a flavour that's generally pretty hard to screw up. If you include enough sugar and enough flavourings or whatever, be they natural or unnatural, you're bound to make a chocolate tasting cocktail generally pretty good, I think. So it's not conceptually too hard to mess up. I mean, I'm just saying that based off the fact that most of the time in the past when I've had bitter cocoa flavoured beers or chocolate alcohol from other sources, it's always been pretty consistently decent. So I'm going to give these guys the benefit of the doubt on this one, because while there have been some drinks from BuzzBallz that I haven't massively enjoyed, I don't really think that they're too bad. They're generally pretty consistent. So I don't know, I think this could be quite good, especially combined with what I've mentioned earlier about chocolate cocktails as well and chocolate drinks. But I will say that the packaging is a bit unremarkable, although it does look fine. So relaxed 5 out of 10 for that. I'm thinking that just purely based on the fact that, I mean, I don't know, it just doesn't really stand out to me. Although the contrast of the colour of the liquid against the dark chocolate coloured writing does look quite nice. So yeah, 5 out of 10 I think. I think 5 out of 10 is reasonable for that. It's nice, but just unremarkable looking, to be honest. So we'll have ourselves a quick snifter to see what it's like before we properly taste it, see what impressions are really like. Not much of a nose. Yeah, it's not much of a nose at all, really, to be honest. It's kind of just a very mild alcoholic smell with a slight tinge of creme or chocolate or vanilla, I think. It kind of just makes me think of a slightly cheaper version of a Baileys, I guess. But, well, then again, I'd say cheaper. I meant to say more of a knockoff version of Baileys, because this thing alone was $4.49. So, yeah, it's not exactly cheap, is it? But actually, to be fair, come to think of it, a bottle of home brand Aldi Baileys, which is the version of that drink called Ballycastle, a bottle of that is about £7 or £8, I think, whereas this one singular BuzzBallz cocktail was $4.49. These aren't necessarily the cheapest, are they? But I don't know, they're practical at least anyway. So for the nose, it smells fine. It's actually quite a nice nose. It's, again, just not the most remarkable. So 6 out of 10. There's a vanilla-iness, a bit of chocolatiness. There's an underlying sort of alcoholic harshness at the end, but it's actually not too bad. It actually complements the other parts of the smell quite nicely. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Smells fine, to be honest. Just, again, nothing remarkable. But I feel like this is one of those ones where it's very unremarkable on first assumptions, but then actually tastes really good. So hopefully it will be quite decent. But quick palate cleanser before we see what this sucker really tastes like. And as always, drink responsibly and remember to have some water, especially in this hot weather and while you're drinking. Nice. And on to the most important part of the video. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned it at the beginning, if I said this is the most premier alcohol review show here on YouTube and I am your most gracious host bit, so that's on me if I missed that bit out. But as always, we won't know what this sucker really tastes like until we taste it. So to everyone at home, bottoms up, have a good weekend ahead, and remember to drink responsibly, and cheers. Yeah, it's the best BuzzBallz cocktail so far. That's actually not bad. That's actually quite nice. I don't think it's worth $4.49 if I'm going to be honest, but it does taste good. So it tastes good enough to the point where I'm willing to let that price slide a little bit, but I probably wouldn't buy this every time I want a premixed cocktail thing. I mean, it does genuinely taste like a version of Bailey's that you've made somehow with vodka without splitting the alcohol and the cream from one another, with a bit more of a chocolatey through line. And that's primarily it, to be honest. There's a tiny bit of like a bitter cocoa-y aftertaste that actually caps things off really nicely, but generally speaking, this is by far and away the nicest BuzzBallz cocktail I've had so far. This is actually quite good. I mean, the texture is really smooth. The only note of like major disrepute that I can think of about this is that the aftertaste, or rather the finish, I should say, is a little bit harsh, and it's a little bit sort of stings in the mouth a little bit, but I think that's more so because of the harshness of the alcohol. That being said, the flavours that are here together are really simple flavours. They contrast against each other really, really nicely, and it's generally actually a really balanced drink. So I'll give it a... Honestly, I'm struggling to really place it though, because there's something about it that just prevents it from being perfect. And like I said, that finish is a little bit harsh, but the precise rating I think I'll give is... .8. This is really, really good. Definitely one of the nicest premixed cocktails I've ever had as well, from like a can or like one of these little container things. It generally is really, really good. My main critique is, like I said, the finish and a little bit of the aftertaste is a bit harsh, and it is generally a bit overpriced in most places where I find BuzzBallz cocktails. I do think they are a little bit overpriced. Not necessarily in terms of the quality, but just for like the amount of liquid and alcohol that you're getting, I think that they could be a little bit cheaper. But I will say for sure, without a shadow of doubt, that this is one of the nicest shop-bought premixed cocktail things I've ever had. Like, this is really, really good. And to everyone who recommended the chocolate one to me here, really, really thank you on that recommendation. This is actually very, very nice, and by far and away the best one that BuzzBallz have made so far. I'm not sure, but I think I remember seeing somewhere that they are bringing out some new ones soon, but I could be completely wrong on that, so feel free to fact check me in the comments if I am completely wrong. But there's a couple other ones that I want to try from them. I know there's an espresso martini one, but I might wait until I can get Imogen and Owen on to try that one, because one of Imogen's favourite cocktails is an espresso martini. But no, honestly, this is really, really good. It's an 8.5, and if you chill it and then serve it on ice, it's probably going to be pushed up to like an 8.75. Really, really good. Very nice. Yeah, very much enjoyed. So, if you guys liked this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for not just episodes of Ted's Booze Cellar, but other video formats for me to try out, then let me know in the comments section down below, as well as anything you might have agreed or disagreed with in particular. Until next time, have fun, stay safe with whatever you're doing, don't do anything I wouldn't do, wash your hands, drink responsibly, leave a like, comment, share and subscribe if you like this video. Check out my other social medias in the video description down below, and I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar. Bye-bye for now.